Hi, I'm Marijke.
And I'm Jennifer.
And this is Cat's Chats.
The topic today is what's your message to any new grad SLTs out there?
Ooh.
This is your future.
Giddy and crazy like us.
Yay!
I think the most important thing I wanted as a new grad was that injection of experience. I wanted it like a vaccine, kind of just hit me with it. And it's so frustrating because you want to just have that as a little package because you know a little bit about a lot, but you don't know enough to really feel comfortable. So my message is really, you'll never feel comfortable. So
Congratulations.
That's okay. Because you're always learning. And if you don't keep learning, you're never going to be a good therapist. Yeah. So it's okay to feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
fake it till you make it. Okay? The families we work with and the clients we work with want you to seem confident in what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, inside, and still sometimes inside, I'm going, but you need to be confident and show that you have the skills, you can do this, so that you can generate that kind of confidence in you and what you're doing, isn't it? So the faking till you make it, like the swan, madly working underneath all the prep that you've been doing for the therapy session, everything is going crazily around your head. It's so you're making it look like smooth as a swan gliding through that water, isn't it?
And then you've got Dory in your head. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
I've forgotten everything about I'm going to keep swimming. Which happens on occasion too, right? Especially when we panic a little bit.
And I think and especially we've seen this through cats as well, when we've got the new grads coming in and, I've had the luxury of working in the clinics with them and talking through lots of issues. And there's this kind of, at some point, a new grad crosses a line into confidence, more confidence. And you start a new job and you're just going, I don't know what I'm doing. And there's so much to do. And I'm so unsure of myself. And all of a sudden, one day you go, I've got this. I figured this out. This day wasn't as challenging as last month was. Yeah. And it's like all of a sudden it all clicks, doesn't it? And you feel the knowledge. That
it's like a dawn chorus.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
exactly.
I know. Feel comfortable. I'm a speech therapist. Yeah.
And you have to trust in the knowledge that you have, trust in the support that you have behind you. And that you do know what you're doing.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but very often in the beginning, a parent would ask me a question, and I would go and give him an answer. And in my head, back of my head, I'm going, I didn't know I knew the answer to that. Wow. And usually, you just need to go with your gut, and usually, because there's a lot of evidence-based, new evidence-based literature that you know about. There are certain things that you know the answers to. And if you don't, that's okay. Yeah. Nobody has all the answers. Speech and language therapy is such a wide thing that sometimes you need to go, listen, that's a really good question. I want to really explore that next session. And then you go and do your research and you're bang back with it and you have everything ready. Yeah. And another thing is, Dory, right? Like Dory, you need to be able to go and change direction. Yeah. Like a fish, okay? Within session. So often new grads would say to me after the session, I did notice this and this didn't go so well. I probably should have done something else. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah. If you in any way, if it's physically possible, if you can change the activity or do something else, do it. Yeah. Don't keep banging your head against the wall if you can see it's not working. Because the parent's sitting there watching it, going, this is not working. Yeah. So you need to be able to sometimes just go with it. And that's really hard if you don't have a huge amount of experience on what other things might work. Just try different things. Sometimes and I still did it. Today I changed midstream and we made a speech hero. I was like, Speech Man! And Speech Man, the Speech Man's slogan is now... Speech Man's catchphrase is like... I've forgotten my speech phrase. What? Can we edit it out, please? Okay, so...
She'll come back to it later and then do it again.
We discovered Speechman, right? And Speechman, we needed to work on speech clarity. And he goes and he lands and he goes, my word! And the kid was really excited about it. So he's going to draw me a Speechman and we're going to be working on... And yes, I had a completely different plan at the start of the session.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I'm going, this is working. We needed to change stream and...
Go for it.
I know the child very well. I think this is going to work. And it's to be able to go with that. Don't afterwards go, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, go for it. And trust in, I mean, you have, in Ireland, you have 4 years of lesson planning. And you're writing all these lesson plans. And your mentors and your supervisors are asking for a step up. They're asking for a step down. And especially when you're new, you should still be doing planning those step ups and step downs so that if you need to change tact, you go for it and over plan.
Oh yeah.
So, and I over plan still. I
At
always
least 3 extra activities.
Absolutely, because you never know when you're going to need them.
Yeah.
You might have gotten through the 3 things you had. All of a sudden, you've still got 15 minutes left.
And you're like, what now?
Yes. So always over plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also because sometimes a child or any client can come in and they're at a different space than we are expecting them to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes they actually reached all the goals that you're actually planning for. That's a scary place because now where are you going to be at? And then you can cope with it. It's fine, But then the other point is they've regressed all of a sudden. So then the step up, step down, you always need to have that in the back of your head.
Yeah.
How are you going to step up, step down everything that you do so that you can do, or how are you going to go back to a different goal that is maybe easier to achieve, more realistic, what's going to do it. Or they've lost their front teeth.
Oh.
You're working on something that's like the S or the T. Okay, we're not working on that sound anymore until the teeth kind of fully erupt and we're there.
So let's adjust to a different sound now. Let me have a quick peek at that deep. Right. Here we are. Yeah,
exactly. Or now this they can't do the fluency technique they've been able to do for ages. And now they're blocking on easy voice that you've been doing for months.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do now? So that you can go with it and go, okay, let's step it back a few steps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be able to... It takes time, but little by little you'll get there. And I think a really big thing, especially, when you're a new grad... my professor in university, she's Dr. Sandy Friel Patty, rest in peace. She assessed fast forward, by the way, for a randomized control study trial. So I have opinions on that. Anyways, what she said to us at our graduation is when you left secondary school, you knew everything. And then you left college, because you have to have a master's degree in the States. So you left college and you think you pretty much knew what you were doing. And here you are, graduating, leaving to be a speech and language therapist, and you realize you do not know anything. So there's this fear and there's this anxiety over starting fresh and being the professional when you don't feel like you know anything. And I think and SLTs tend to be people who want to please and they want to make people happy and they want to be the carers. So we take on a lot of those emotions. And we take on a lot of that stress. And I think it's really important, because we push ourselves so hard, is to watch out for your mental health, especially as a new SLT. Minding yourself, being comfortable speaking up to say, I can't take on 5 extra clients. I'm not ready for that yet. And even chatting with your supervisor and relying on them to help support you through that, and getting help if you need help, or looking at, say, cognitive behavior therapy, or looking at mindfulness for yourself, making sure you have an outlet so that you go home and you're in a running club, so you go running, or you're in a musical society, so you do something other than sit at home preparing for all your lessons, because you'll burn out.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing we want, is these talented new SLTs to burn out and move into a different profession.
So invest maybe some time into CPD that's about resilience and things like that, and not necessarily just the typical speech and language things we need to do. Yes, it's great to have it, but you need to be able to be strong so that you can be strong for your clients.
Yeah.
Because we do take on a lot of those feelings and so on. And psychologists would, when they do supervision with each other, they'd be that support for each other, and we try to do that in supervision. But in so many new grads work environment nowadays, they don't necessarily have those supports in place.
Yeah.
Or they don't necessarily have somebody understand the stress they might be under. They think people rock up for speech therapy, you whip out your magic wand and you go, now you are cured. Those things don't happen. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and yes, I think self-care is a big part of it.
Big part of it,
Yeah. And even just to, sometimes when we get to that point where we get really scared, I find that some new therapists tend to be overly professional. So they'll be more stiff upper back, more parent, you need to do this, because actually they're really nervous about even speaking to the parent in the first place. So they're hiding behind that mask of being a professional. And sometimes it's good to say, listen, I don't think that therapy session worked as well as I wanted it to be. I would do the same thing. If a therapy session didn't work, sometimes that happens. Sometimes they're not feeling well, or something triggered a response. You know, that is absolutely fine. But if you say that parent is leaving going, this therapist cares enough that next time they're going to fix it, and go and fix it next time. If you don't fix it the next session, that looks bad. So you have to be like bells on that one. But then you have had some time to get things ready, so you're allowed to have things collapse around you in a session. It can happen, and it does happen. Right.
And then call your supervisor, call your mentor. I mean, that's what we're here for. I mean, the new grads that I mentor, often they're getting better at like contacting me outside of supervision times. But I mean, that's what we're here for. Like if the wheels fall off, don't go it alone. Because you've got a support network, and that's why we have mentoring and supervision, is so that you've got somebody behind you who's got your back and who's got the best interests of yourself and your clients in mind, and has even if they don't know the answer, they will find the answer somewhere else, because they've learned how to do that.
So it's kind of trust your gut, fake it till you make it, look after yourself, and
get support when you need it.
Get support. Ask for help.
That's
key.
And you got this.
Yes. If you have any questions,
give us a call.
Send in your questions and we'll try our best to answer them.